here with Tiny Acorn. You guys may have remembered on my Thrift with Me in the Mountains video, I altered a shirt that I got and turned it into a crop top. And I asked you if you wanted to see more alteration videos, and you guys said you did. So this video today is going to be all about making simple alterations on your clothing. You can always take things to a tailor, but I want to teach you some really easy tricks that you can do at home to alter your own clothes for free. You don't even have to have a sewing machine for this. If you do, that's a plus. So today I'm going to be showing you 3 different pieces and how I altered them to make them fit me better. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Just ring those bells and that way you're notified every time I post a new video. Let's get started! So before we get into the video, I wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. Now, if you've been following me on my Instagram for a while, then you guys have probably seen me wear my Sutro boots like all the time. I really needed a boot that was going to stand up to my job, which at the time was a florist. I was on my feet 8 hours a day. I was stomping on plant material all day long. So this, by the way, is the Sharon High in the color Honey, which they don't make anymore. I feel like they've just been such a lifesaver for me. And recently they reached out to me and they wanted to partner with me. So I'm so excited to be partnering with them. They sent me this pair. This is the Ortega. I've been wanting a flat boot for a while. This one has a tiny little heel, but you can't feel it when you're walking in it. And I've been wearing these for a few weeks now, including like all day long on a couple of days. And I did freelance at my florist job 2 of the days, and I wore these boots and they were super comfy. I firmly believe that boots are one of the main pieces in your wardrobe that you should be investing in. When you get a good boot like this one, it only looks better as it ages over time, and it breaks in and it gets comfier and comfier the more that you wear it. Definitely invest in good boots for your wardrobe. And I'm excited because Sutro Boots is actually offering you guys $25 off your first pair with my code TinyAcorn25. Go check out their website. I'm going to put the link in the description box down below. They also have Oxfords, mules, lace-up boots, Chelsea boots, like all different kinds of shoes, you guys. And they are based out of San Francisco, which is awesome. All right, let's get into the video.
Alright, so the first shirt that I'm going to show you guys how to alter is this cute little tank top I got from Wild Moon Collective. It's actually a Target shirt. When I got it though, I noticed that the sides were a little bit big, and so it looks like I'm going to be having to take them in about 1 inch all the way down. So I'm going to turn the shirt inside out. What I'm going to be doing is just making sure it's all completely flat, and then pin about 1 inch of the way in and sew down the side and create a new seam and take the side in. When it comes to picking out thread color, you want to pull the thread out and lay it on the top of your fabric, and if it disappears or almost disappears, then you know that you've got a good color for your fabric. If you'd like to see how to do this with a hand stitch, stay tuned to the very end of this video. So now I'm ready to sew in my sewing machine. I have all my blue thread in. I'm going to make sure that the pins are facing towards the sewing machine with the ball side down so that I can easily pull them out as I am sewing along. And I'm just going to get down to the end and finish it off with a little bit of a back stitch, and then I will be done. Okay, so you want to trim off all of the excess threads once you're done. But now you have this chunk of fabric that is going to get in the way when you're wearing your garment, so you want to cut it off. But if you use regular scissors, it's actually going to fray over time. So if you don't have an overlock machine, an easy solution is to get a pair of pinking shears like these. With the zigzag cut, it's actually going to prevent the fabric from fraying. These scissors are what they used back in the old days before they even invented overlock machines. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these, and I'm going to cut about 1/4 of an inch away from my new seam on the shirt and just cut off all of that excess fabric. And once you do the other side, you are going to be completely finished and are ready to try it on and style it up.
In case you're wondering, my oud today is this super cute Bob Dylan t-shirt. It was my husband's and I stole it from him. And I'm wearing my yellow linen mango blazer and my Wrangler jeans. I thrifted these pants and I got them so that they fit around my hips, but then the waist was too big. So I went and I got the waist taken in. So I think it cost me $25 to get the waist taken in, and honestly it was like the best money I ever spent because the pants were $5. The alteration was $25, so I got these awesome jeans that fit me great for $30. So win-win. That's the beauty of altering.
For this next alteration, I'm going to be using a dress that I inherited from my aunt. This dress is so cute, but it does feel a little bit big in the shoulders, and also it has shoulder pads, which I'll be cutting out. And then it also feels a little bit big around the waist area. I think I might need to take it in a few inches on the sides. And I recently heard a tip from my friend Jess over at Jess with Bless. She does this thing where basically she gathers the shoulders. She uses this trick because she has small shoulders and she finds that the shoulders tend to be quite big on her oftentimes. So this helps with making the garment look like it fits you better. Okay, so this shoulder pad is sewn in pretty well, so I'm going to use a seam ripper, which is a handy little tool to rip the seams out and take the shoulder pads out. On some garments, the shoulder pads are not sewn in very well and you can just use scissors, but this one was sewn in pretty well. So I'll just go ahead and remove it on both sides. Once I do that, I'm going to do a hand stitch across the top, and I'll be doing a basting stitch today, and this is a stitch that you can use to just gather fabric. It's a loose stitch, and then you pull the threads at the end and you pull it tight, and then that ends up gathering the fabric together. I'm going to start out with a light colored thread so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, but you would want to use a darker thread, of course. Alright, so go ahead and thread your needle, tie a simple knot at the end. Make sure the knot is pretty big, that way it doesn't pull through the fabric when you start to pull the thread at the end. And I'm going to start not completely from the end of the shoulder, but somewhere in the middle there I'm going to start. But you can really start wherever you want, depending on how much fabric you need to gather in order to make it fit your shoulder. Okay, so I am going to turn the fabric inside out and I'm going to work from the inside. You're going to put your first stitch here, and you can make the stitches as long or as short as you want. It's going to be easier to gather with longer stitches, but also you do run the risk of being able to see your thread, and you don't really want to see your thread, so you can do shorter stitches if you'd like, and make sure that the gathering is very, very tight. The good news is if you do it wrong the first time, you can take it out easily and just redo it and kind of experiment with how much gathering you would like. You can see as I pull the thread, the fabric starts to gather together and create this little, not like a pleat, but kind of like a pleat. Once we have the fabric gathered the way that we would like it on the shoulder, then we're going to tie it off with a nice sturdy knot. I'm just putting the final knot here in the collar area where there is a couple of layers of fabric. So I went ahead and did the other shoulder, and now here are both shoulders done. It raises it up a little bit and it looks a little bit more fitting on me, but I do think that there still needs to be a little bit taken in on the sides and in the armpit area, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. Alright, so I'm going to lay the dress inside out, flat on the ground, and then I'm just going to eyeball down the seam about an inch of the way in, and I'm going to go ahead and start pinning all the way down. Sometimes, to be honest, I don't even pin. I just run it through my machine as is, but for the sake of today's video, I am going to pin it for you. And now we're ready to put it in our machine. I've got my black thread in. Okay, so just go ahead and sew all the way down the dress, just making sure your fabric is straight as you go along. And then just go ahead and give it a trim and try your dress on.
Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys really quick some examples of pieces that I have not altered myself and I have taken to the tailor. This leather skirt is one of those. I purchased this for $3 and it was a little bit big in the waist, but I took it to a tailor because, for one, I don't have the sewing machine necessary to sew leather, and then for two, I didn't want to mess it up. So it was a little bit more of an investment to get it tailored professionally. It cost me about $60. All in all, I spent $63 on this skirt, but I absolutely love it. And it's such a good price to pay for something that is genuine leather that fits you like a glove. Okay, so another piece that I had taken to the tailor was this crazy vintage pinstripe suit. I actually got this in my biggest vintage haul of all time, and it was much bigger. And so I went to the tailor, and she actually took in the pants all the way down the sides, and she added a zipper here so that it fits me. It nips in right at the waist where I need it to. Yeah, so I actually do this a lot with trousers that I thrift. I can just get a zipper put in on the side and a little clasp, and then I can just make it fit my body the way that I need it to. And so I frequently take my pants to the tailor to do that because I'm not going to try to bother with putting a zipper in and a clasp and everything myself. It's just too much work and I don't want to ruin the pants. So something like that, that type of alteration, definitely recommend taking it to a tailor.
Okay, so this next alteration I'm going to show you is so simple. I'm taking this pair of white shorts that I actually got from my massive vintage haul, and if you haven't watched that video, check it out with the link above. I'm going to go ahead and roll these up. I think that it looks super cute rolled, but the problem is you can't really wear them rolled because the roll will just fall out as you go about your day. So I'm going to be showing you a simple little stitch that you can do to tack a roll and a short like this up. And this stitch can be used for pants, for shorts. I've even used this on a shirt sleeve before. Okay, so lay your shorts out flat on the ground and then go ahead and start rolling them up to the desired length that you'd like them. Mine are looking like they're going to be a little bit too bulky if I keep all of that fabric there. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the bottom with my pinking shears and take some of that length off, but still have enough left so that I can roll it up. And once I have it where I like it, I'm going to go ahead and put some pins in it just to hold it securely, and I'll go try it on to make sure that it's the exact length and fit that I want. Okay, so I did try them on and I felt like they were a little bit too long, and so I'm just taking all the pins out, and I'm actually going to take my shears. I'm going to trim just a little bit more off the bottom here, and then I'll just roll them back up again and try them on one more time just to make sure they're exactly where I want them. Okay, they're where I wanted them, so now I have to cut the other side, and I'm going to show you a little trick. To avoid having to use a measuring tape, you can just take the scraps from the first leg that you cut, lay them out on your second leg, and then just cut right about at the same spot. And go ahead and roll this side up too, and pin it, and then we'll get ready to do the stitch. Alright, so for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you with a darker thread so that you can see it, but you would typically want to use a white thread for this. So go ahead and thread your needle, tie a secure knot. This type of stitch that I'm going to be teaching you is called a blind stitch. And normally when you do a blind stitch, you're actually doing it with the roll on the inside. But for this alteration, I'm going to be showing you the blind stitch with the roll on the outside. You're going to want to come in from the back so that you can hide the knot. And then you'll come through just the back layer of fabric and pull it through. And then right here, you're going to enter the fold and put your stitch so that it goes through and is hidden right in there. So this is typically going to be a longer stitch there, and then you're just going to grab just a little bit of fabric from the back and then pull your needle through there. And then you're going to stick your needle back in and re-enter the fold and put your next stitch right in there through the fold. And for these shorts, I'm only doing a couple stitches in about 8 different places on each leg, not across the whole thing. So I'm going to finish it off with a little knot right here, and I'll grab some of the fabric from the back just to make my knot secure. And I'll trim it off. So I'm going to be doing this about 8 more times all the way around the leg in each place that I have a pin. I'm only going to do a couple stitches there because I still want it to have the look as if the shorts are just loosely rolled up. The nice thing about hand sewing is that you can save your projects for some downtime. I like to save a lot of my sewing projects for later in the evenings when I'm just hanging out with my husband, watching Seinfeld on the couch. That's what I like to do to kind of pass the time and keep my hands busy. And this is how the shorts turned out.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you gained some skills when it comes to sewing, and that next time you're out thrifting, if you see something but it doesn't fit exactly perfectly, you'll be able to take it home and alter it yourself. Let's just remember right now that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you if clothing off the rack does not fit you. We are all different shapes and sizes, and we are so beautiful the way that we are. Don't feel bad about yourself. Don't pay that much attention when it comes to tags or sizes. Pull a bunch of different sizes, put it on, just start to play with it in the mirror and think, oh, like this could fit or this could look cute. Maybe I could just take it in here, or take it to my tailor and have him nip this in, or maybe I could just take this side in. I'm not going to stand in the mirror and berate myself because I've got small boobies that don't fill out this blue shirt, right? I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to take it in, and that's okay. So just remember, ladies, that you are absolutely beautiful just the way you are. Your curves are beautiful. Your lack of curves are beautiful. The way that you were made is stunning, just like a beautiful flower, and everyone is made differently, okay? So I hope that you're encouraged, that you can start looking at garments in a new way and not be discouraged just because it doesn't fit you right off the bat, okay? All right, remember, ladies, you are beautiful just the way you are. Bye!
For this demonstration today, I wanted to choose some white thread so that you guys could see it. And I'm going to show you how to do a simple hand knot. What I do is I lick my finger, I go ahead and wrap the thread around it, and then I will twist it down. And then taking my other finger, I will go ahead and pull the knot down to the end. So this creates a good, big, sturdy knot so that the knot doesn't slip through the fabric when you wear it. This stitch that I'm going to show you how to do is called a back stitch. I'm just going to go ahead and make my first stitch towards the top of the armpit, making sure that the fabric is even right there and not uneven. And then I'm going to just go back through on the other side towards the top and come back through right at the same spot that I initially went through. And that would be my first stitch. And then just to repeat, I'm going to come through right about here, pull it through, and then I will go back in right the top stitch there. So let me do another one. So again, I'm going to go through the back and come in a little bit farther down and then go back in through the top hole where my other stitch was. And again, back through. This is just a super easy stitch, and if you don't have a sewing machine, you can just do a stitch like this. It'll just take you quite a bit longer, but you can just do it while you're watching TV or something. Then yeah, you'll be able to take your clothing in without having to have a sewing machine. I am actually going to finish it off right here just to show you guys how I finish off with the knot. So I'll grab a little bit of fabric and then pull the needle through. Then I'm going to go back through the loop and we'll pull it tightly. I'll do this a couple times just to make sure that the knot is sturdy, and then you can just cut your thread and you'll be done.
Thanks for watching. Bye!